Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. I hope everybody's doing well. We actually have the sun out today, which is really nice because it's been wet and soggy and humid and disgusting here. So we need to dry things up. But I want to mention I was going to do it yesterday, but the criminals keep putting me to sleep, stealing my time. I don't know what they do to me when I'm asleep, but I wake up really incredibly hot, disoriented. My fingers are vibrating. My eyes feel sticky. Well, today is the solar eclipse. Okay, so eclipses run in cycles, and they usually run the lunar and the solar kind of back to back every couple of weeks, whatever. So today we've got our solar eclipse. It's an annular solar eclipse, meaning that the moon will cover the center of the sun, leaving a ring of fire visible around the edges. This type of eclipse occurs when the moon is further from the sun, from the earth in its elliptical orbit, and appears smaller than the sun. So the astrological sign of this eclipse, again, is in the sign of Libra. So happy birthday, Libra. You know, we already gave a happy birthday shout out to you guys. So this will be significant for everybody in the sign of Libra, or the opposite, the polar opposite, which is Aries, or the square, which would be Cancer and Capricorn. Those are the four cardinal signs, and cardinal is action oriented. Libra, of course, is the sign of relationships, balance, and harmony. And the duration of this eclipse, where the ring of fire was visible, will last for 5 to 6 minutes at its peak. So it already happens. Through the overall eclipse, including the partial phases, can last for a few hours as it moves across the globe. The visibility of this eclipse, and nobody's mentioned it. Nobody's mentioned this eclipse at all because of everything else that is happening with the Diddy guy, the Diddler guy, the Diddler guy, the storm, the horrible hurricane. We're going to get to the hurricane and flood. We're going to get to that too. So this eclipse was visible in parts of the southern hemisphere, particularly in the Pacific Ocean and parts of the Antarctica. So, you know, what does the Pacific Ocean border? What states borders the Pacific Ocean? California. California has allegedly had many mini earthquakes over the last couple of weeks. So now, the partial phases of the eclipse will be visible in regions such as South America, particularly southern Chile and Argentina, and parts of the Antarctica. So generally, wherever the eclipse can be seen is where you will see over the next 12 months some kind of action, something taking place. So this eclipse is significant because of its unique location in remote regions, making it challenging for most people to observe it in person. However, there are always the scientific teams and the eclipse chasers that travel to those areas to witness and study the phenomenon. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a shout out that we had the solar eclipse today. And this will affect people of the astrological sign Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, which it would be the square to the eclipse point. So anyway, I wanted to mention thank you everybody for watching the last testimony. The last testimony was by the military wife. Now, it cut off at the end because one of my phone alarms went off. But fortunately, I had read everything except the thank you. The thank you that she was going to post, and of course my commentary, which I always have to have I always have a commentary. So I did wanted to comment on the symbols that she was noticing that were left behind. And I've been mentioning this for years. I've noticed the symbols back in New Jersey. I've photographed them. You have to enlarge them. You have to look at things on an angle, sometimes with a black light, at different light sources and stuff. So she mentioned that, and I'm going to show you something else that's really important here. She mentioned, you know, she was talking about the mold, but then she also said that they carve symbols and letters into her things in ways that are kind of hidden unless you get a flashlight and look for different angles. I can absolutely attest to that. Absolutely. And that you've noticed a lot of capital letter A's and 4's. Well, this is what I wanted to mention. I have found the letter A too. And I had a for sale by owner sign at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, and they cut the letter A across the sign. And I started to notice the A's and also M, the letter M, and I realized it was for MK Ultra. But the A, and it was also drawn in the sky here in eastern Kentucky. I believe it stands for anarchy. For any of the people out there that have also seen the symbols, the letter A, I have seen, actually the letter S is etched into it was etched into my brand new stainless steel kitchen sink. You cannot see it by your eye. You can't see it. And of course they've done more damage to it at this point, 5 years later. But there is a tiny little S. And they also etched the mathematical symbol pi. It looks like a little bench or whatever. And the Nike Just Do It symbol everywhere. And of course they do the Deluminati eye. You know, they burn the eyes like, oh, we're watching you. Well, yeah, I'm watching you too. So yes, I just wanted to validate. And for the targeted people out there, please look for this stuff. This is evidence. You can find it on hard objects, wood, they'll etch. And remember, these are narcissists. They always want to take credit for their dirty deeds. So they usually leave something behind, symbolic that it was it. It's like they have to raise up their hands. It was me. It was me. I'm going to put my little etching, my little psychotic symbol in your personal belongings. So yes, I wanted to validate that. But I also wanted to show you something. And this beautiful hand-painted original oil painting is by Linda Russell, Linda's Angel Arts. I mean, it's beautiful. It's not mini. It's not an ACEO. But I'll show you here. It's a little bit larger. It's like 5 by 5. So I love it. Anyway. So now I posted a couple of videos that I located on TikTok. And it was basically an urgent call to action for the hurricane and the flood. And research North Carolina. Well, I want to show you. I want to show you that the urgent call to action video on my YouTube channel, somebody has downloaded it to 50%. Who would do something like that? Check it out. So here you go. It's that one. Urgent call to action for the hurricane. Somebody downloaded it. 40 views. 2 likes. Downloaded to 50%. That means some psychopath downloaded this video, this call to action for help. For the survivors that are people that are floating in the water. And I saw a very disturbing image. And of course, you know, the mainstream news is not reporting on this. Only people who are boots on the ground there. And TikTok is sharing exponentially. And give a shout out to Robbie Starbucks here, who lives in Eastern Tennessee. If you go to his channel, he's got a list of places that you can donate to, etc. He and his wife purchased all the Starlinks at the local stores out of their own money and brought them all to a location so that people could have internet service. So applause for you guys. But the image that I saw was a little girl that was rescued. She couldn't have been more than 5 years old. She had dark brown hair. She was soaking wet. Just soaking wet. She had such a look of fear and grief on her face. And in her hands, she was holding so tightly to her puppy, A live puppy. She saved her puppy. This little girl was holding on to her puppy for dear life. And this is what's happening there in eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Virginia. And nobody's talking about it. And the current administration, they're actually sending people away that are going there to donate stuff. They're saying, oh no, we can do it ourselves. FEMA's like, oh no, we can do it all by ourselves. We're just going to withhold everything, like they did in Puerto Rico. Many, many years ago, I don't know if you remember, they were withholding water bottles. They were stacked up. Couldn't get there. And then these longshoremen, right, that are on strike now, they turned down an offer of like 50% increase or whatever. These are greedy little effers. If they don't take a deal, they're going to all be replaced with robots. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And for anybody who watched the video that I posted on evidence stalker neighbor trespasses and the Scarlett letter, the neurotic stalker neighbor Scarlett. Well, you know, when she was driving by and honking her horn and stuff, she actually started, you know, the name calling and stuff. She called me a heifer. Now you guys really don't know me. Like, you haven't seen me in person. You know, like, you might have an idea of what I look like. I've never been a heifer. Like, maybe when I was pregnant, you know, when I gained 62 pounds and lost every bit of it and more, and had, you know, a 4-pack when I was working out at the gym. But I'm definitely not a heifer. So I wanted to ask AI, you know, I know that it means like a fat animal, right? So I said, AI, can you just tell me about the expression, like a heifer comparing a person to a fat animal? So the expression heifer, when used to describe a person, typically refers to calling someone overweight. It's often in a derogatory or insulting way. A heifer is a young cow, usually one that hasn't given birth yet. And the term fat as a heifer historically implies that someone is being compared to a large, heavy animal. I don't know, guys. When I moved to Kentucky, I weighed 100 pounds. I'm sure Scarlett hasn't seen 100 in maybe since she's a teenager. Maybe even when she was 12. Okay? I don't think so. So anyway, yeah, when I moved here, I weighed 100 pounds. I think now I might weigh like 108 or 110 or something like that. Just because I don't have my gym anymore. So using heifer in this context is meant to demean someone's physical appearance, particularly their weight. Come on. I mean, this is what I'm saying. They lie. It can carry an undertone of objectification and cruelty, since it reduces a person to an animalistic comparison. Like many body-shaming terms, it reflects societal judgments about weight, often tied to negative stereotypes about being lazy or unhealthy. I'm neither one of those, guys. I'm probably the healthiest person in the whole town. Anyway, even at my age, it's important to recognize that such language is harmful and perpetuates negative body image issues, while also dehumanizing the individual being targeted. In modern discourse, efforts to reduce body shaming and promote positivity encourage moving away from terms like these. So, guys, I can tell you for a fact, I'm definitely not a heifer. In fact, the slander campaign in New Jersey from my neighbors was I was a skinny little whore. But anyway, I don't know, I'm not skinny. I'm not skinny. I've always had a little bit more curvaceousness until they liposuction my butt. That's a story for another day. Yeah, these criminals, they like to steal everything to take away whatever attractiveness that you had, and they want to sell it for profit. So, I wanted to read something to you guys. So there was a question on Quora, what is the point of gang stalking someone if they don't even know why They're being gang stalked. Like, why waste their time? The response by a man named James, and this was just recently, like a week ago. He says, your high vibration is a threat to the control matrix around you. The fact that you are internally powered, possibly a loner, free spirit, non-controllable type, they must slow down your vibration by setting up the Truman Show all around you. Obstacle course to slow you down. They want to create and delay to catch your attention, get you outside of yourself. When you're in your own agency, they can't control you. Most people are trapped in the matrix. You see past the illusion, and that's a big problem because you will influence others to escape it as well. Well, yes, I am a loner and a free spirit, and no, I'm not a controllable type. Ask my mother. And also, I was raised by two very independent parents that worked their asses off off their entire lives, very successful. And so, I grew up with that mindset. My mother would always say, you can do anything that you want in this life. You just have to work for it. And I agree. You can do anything that you want in this life when you put your energy out there and you work for it. And my parents would tell me to not let anybody know how intelligent you are, and to not let people know how strong you are. So I guess maybe we're all targeted because we're strong and intelligent. Okay, but it's a big secret, guys. I'm really not intelligent, and I'm not all that strong, okay? So anyway, but I do have Pluto at the top of my chart, and it exactly trines Mars, which is my chart ruler. So it just portends the fact that I'm the kind of person where, like, I'm a really nice person, but you really don't want to mess with me, Scarlett. And by the way, I want to tell everybody that Scarlett is a nurse. She's an LPN. Yeah. Would you want somebody like Scarlett Marks working on you? Just leave a comment down below. And leave a comment down below on if you feel that your vibration, that your independence, your spirit, your joy, that you're a non-corruptible type of person. Leave a comment down below if you fit that personality type. And we did discuss personality types on my channel. The INFJ, the ENFJ, multiple types of personalities that are very rare in our society today. And some of the other personality types that are more prevalent will view somebody of the personality types that's rare, like the 1% or 2% of the population, as being, they just don't get you. And I feel that people of those personality types, the very low percentage personality types, are very different than the rest of our society here in the United States. Leave a comment down below if you feel that way as well. I mean, and if you know your personality type, and if you feel like, you've been ostracized because of those qualities. But anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I know that there was something else I wanted to discuss with you guys. And I'm not remembering exactly what it is right now. Oh, yes! Now, this is a food issue. And you need to read your labels, guys. And I didn't know this. And it's mostly in, like, chips. Like, if you eat chips, and breads and stuff, and some other foods. If you see the word cellulose, CELLULOSE, do you have any idea what that is? I'm just going to pause. Cellulose. What do you think it is? It's actually sawdust. It's sterilized wood chips. Yes. So, you probably don't want to eat cellulose or foods that contain that product. So you might want to check out and read your labels a little bit more, especially on bread type products, crackers, cereals and stuff like that. You know, the dry products. But anyway, also I heard that with this longshoreman strike that there are going to be some shortages, not immediately, but definitely within a month. And some of those items are chocolate. Of course, I had to say that first. Chocolate, coffee, apple juice. And this is something I didn't know. That most of the apples that we distribute, the apple juice that we distribute in the United States, the apples don't come from here. I was shocked. They're imported here. So that apple juice, some electronics, obviously electronics, and there were some other food things. You know, the things that, like some meat products and stuff, but which I don't eat, so it didn't kind of register in my head. But yeah, so like cocoa, chocolates, apples, apple juice, certain juices, and because of the roads that have collapsed all the way along the East Coast, that there are actually some roads that have totally disappeared, that there's absolutely no way to get to certain points in the Carolinas, that some roads have gone, and that some of them are underwater or slightly you know, above water, and they're afraid that because they're so drenched with water that they too will eventually collapse. So I mean, this is just a nightmare on top of a nightmare on top of a nightmare, total chaos. And anyway, I'll leave you on that note, but please leave a comment down below if you feel that people gang stalk us because our vibration is higher than theirs and it's a threat to the control matrix around me. And the fact that we're internally powered, possibly a loner, and we're a free spirit and not a controllable type. But anyway, I look forward to talking to you guys soon. I'm going to sign off for now. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. And for the person out there that's downvoting to 50%, a video seeking help, an urgent call to action for the hurricane. You know what? I hope Carmageddon is on its way to you. How could anybody downvote that video, right? It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds long. How could you do that? But anyway, I'm going to sign off for now.